Hey gorgeous, welcome back. I'm really glad you're here because today we're diving into something so many women ask about but rarely get straight, honest and empowering answers to. We're talking about how to create sexual tension, that electric magnetic feeling that makes a man crave your energy and feel drawn to you in a way that goes way beyond the physical. And before we get into it, I want to say this. This is not about being someone you're not. This isn't about trying to be a fantasy. This is about activating a part of yourself that already exists. Your feminine magnetism, your playful edge, your quiet power. That part of you that knows how to walk into a room and own it. That part of you that can turn heads without even trying, just by being fully present, deeply confident, and tuned in to the energy between you and him. Because here's what I know, you don't need to try harder to impress him. You don't need a script or some rehearsed lines. What you need is a deeper connection to your own presence. Because when you're in your body, when you're grounded in your worth, and when you allow yourself to play with energy, instead of trying to control it, that's when things start to shift. That's when he feels something he can't explain, that absolutely wants more of. Whether you're just starting to date someone, trying to reawaken desire in your relationship, or you simply want to feel more in your power around men, this is for you. Because sexual tension isn't about sex. It's about build-up. It's about chemistry. It's about that slow burn that makes everything more intense and unforgettable. So in this speech, I'm going to give you 5 simple, powerful, feminine steps that you can use to create sexual tension and turn him on. Every time, whether you're across the table from him or already in bed, these tools will help you connect to the part of yourself that makes a man stop in his tracks and say, what is it about her that I can't get enough of? This is about stepping into your softness and your boldness, your stillness and your spark, your warmth and your wildness. This is about awakening you first, because when you feel turned on by your own energy, he feels it too. Let's dive in. If there's one thing I want you to take from this entire speech, it's this. Speed is the enemy of sexual tension. We live in a world that is obsessed with instant gratification. Swipe, click, scroll, done. And unfortunately, that same energy bleeds into our dating lives. We rush through conversations. We hurry through flirtation. We skip over the beautiful buildup of connection and go straight to the outcome, only to find it leaves us feeling empty, disconnected, or overlooked. But sexual tension, real, goosebump inducing, make him think about you all night tension, that doesn't live in the fast lane. It lives in the space between things. Think about this. Have you ever had someone look at you just a little too long? Not in a creepy way, but in a way that made your stomach flutter and your breath hitch just slightly. That's the power of slowing down. Slowing things down means you create presence. You're no longer rushing through the moment. You're not trying to get to the punchline of the conversation or make something happen quickly. You're just there with him in that moment, completely embodied in your own energy, and he feels it deeply, because when a woman is present, she becomes magnetic. When she's not trying to fill space, but instead lets the silence sit comfortably between her words, he leans in. When she pauses before she answers a question, not because she's unsure, but because she's choosing to savor the moment, it drives him crazy. When she walks a little slower, speaks a little softer, and looks at him like he's the only man in the room, his brain lights up like a Christmas tree. Why? Because slowness creates anticipation. It says, there's more, but you don't get it all at once. It says, I'm not rushing this because I don't need to. I already know how powerful this energy is, and that's where your power lies. When you slow things down, you control the pace of the interaction. You create a rhythm that pulls him into your world. You move like a woman who knows her worth, who knows her effect, who isn't here to perform but to experience. And here's the real magic. When you slow down, you give him permission to slow down too. You pull him out of his head and into his body. He stops overthinking. He starts feeling. He notices your breath, your tone, the way your lips move. He becomes present with you. And in that presence, tension grows. So how do you practice this? Start with your breath. Breathe slower. Speak with more intention. Don't rush your sentences. Let pauses linger. Let your eyes wander to his and stay there just a second longer than what feels normal. Smile, but don't rush to explain why. Let him sit in the delicious mystery of you. Remember, it's not about playing game. It's about stretching the moment, and the more you stretch it, the more potent it becomes. He doesn't need you to be perfect. He doesn't need theatrics. What he craves, what lights him up, is feeling something from you that's real, intentional, and confidently unhurried. So slow it all down, gorgeous. Let the space between the notes become the music, and watch as he falls under the spell of your presence. Because when you stop rushing and start being, you don't just create attraction, you create obsession. Now that we've slowed things down and created a sense of presence, let's turn up the heat a little without saying a single word. I want you to think of your eyes and your smile as two of the most powerful tools in your feminine toolkit. Not because they're physically attractive, but because of the way they transmit energy. They create a kind of invisible tether between you and the man in front of you, a connection that makes him feel drawn in, intrigued, and just a little bit off balance in the best possible way. Let's start with the eyes. There's a kind of eye contact that says, I'm listening to you. That's nice. But then there's another kind, the kind that says, I see through you and I like what I see. That's the one we're aiming for. Holding eye contact just a second longer than what's expected can create an entire conversation without a word. It says, I'm not in a rush to look away. I'm not nervous. I'm right here and I'm enjoying this moment. That level of quiet confidence is incredibly seductive because it's rare. Most people avoid prolonged eye contact out of discomfort or fear of being too vulnerable. You're owning it. And when you break that eye contact and then come back to it, especially with a little smile, it creates a loop of curiosity, a tease, a dance. It says, you can look, but you don't get all of me just yet. Now let's bring in the smile. And I'm not talking about a big over-the-top grin. I'm talking about a subtle, knowing smile, the kind that barely touches your lips but completely changes your energy. Like you're enjoying a private joke, like you're having fun with him, but you're also holding something back. That smile pulls him in. It makes him want to know what you're thinking. It makes him want to unlock the rest of you. It creates just enough mystery to make the interaction feel playful, flirty, and full of promise. And here's where the magic really happens. When your eyes and your smile work together, you look at him, smile softly, then look away slowly, like you're letting him go, but only because you choose to. That moment alone can leave a man breathless. It's not about being manipulative. It's about being in your power. When you're enjoying yourself, when you're engaged, and when you let your natural magnetism shine through your facial expressions, you change the entire temperature of the interaction. Signal confidence, openness, and yes, sexual tension, all without making a move. Men are visual, yes, but more than that, they respond to emotional visuals. That means they don't just notice what you look like, they notice how you make them feel. And when your eyes tell him you're into this moment, and your smile tells him there's more beneath the surface, he doesn't just see a beautiful woman. He feels intoxicated by you. So next time you're with him, I want you to try something. Look at him, let the silence hang for a beat longer, give him that slow, secret smile, and then say whatever you were going to say. Or say nothing at all. Let him feel it. Because sometimes the strongest turn on isn't what you say or do, it's what you allow him to sense in those silent, simmering moments between your words. Your eyes and your smile are not just features, they're invitations. And when you use them with intention, you'll have his full, undivided attention every time. Your voice, it's not just how you communicate, it's how you create an experience. And when it comes to building sexual tension, your voice is one of the most underestimated tools in your entire arsenal. Think about it. We remember people not just by what they say, but how they say it. The way someone's tone made us feel, soothed us, excited us, drew us in, made us hang on every word. That's what we're tapping into here. And when you learn to use your voice with intention, it becomes a sensory experience that turns conversation into foreplay. Here's the truth. Men are incredibly responsive to vocal cues, but it's not about having a naturally sexy voice. It's about learning to play with contrast. That's what makes you unforgettable. Most people speak at one level, same pitch, same rhythm, same energy. It's functional, not emotional. But when you speak with texture, when you shift your tone and pace depending on the moment, you create this dynamic flow that feels alive. You become more than a person he's talking to. You become someone he's feeling. Imagine this. You're talking and everything's light and playful. Then suddenly you drop your tone just slightly. You slow your words just a little. You lean in. It's subtle, but it changes everything. It shifts the mood. It creates a sense of closeness, intimacy, intrigue. That moment where your voice becomes almost a whisper, where he has to lean forward just to catch it, that's the moment you've got him. Not with volume, not with effort, but with presence. Let your voice dip when you say something bold. Hold a pause after something cheeky. Breathe out your words like they're a secret. That softness, that's where your power lives. And here's the thing. You don't need to use this tone the whole time. In fact, don't. Use it strategically. Use it like a highlighter. Most of the time, speak how you normally do. Lively, expressive, fully yourself. But when you want to, create a spike in energy. When you want to change the temperature of the conversation, drop into that velvet tone. That's when he notices. That's when he stops thinking and starts feeling. Even a single word, when said the right way, can have massive impact. For example, imagine saying really in 3 ways. Light and playful, teasing him, soft and curious, drawing him in, low and slow, dripping with subtext. Each one feels completely different. That's the power of your voice. And don't forget, your voice is an extension of your confidence. When you speak with intention, not rushing, not second guessing, you communicate that you're completely in control of your space, that you know the effect you have, and you're not afraid to let it land. This doesn't mean you need to sound sultry all the time. You don't need to act. You just need to feel connected to yourself while you speak. Because when you feel turned on by your own energy, when you feel present in your words, that energy transmits. He doesn't just hear your voice, he experiences it. And trust me, he'll notice. He won't be able to help it. Your voice will stick with him. It will echo in his mind long after the conversation ends. So don't be afraid to slow down, to soften, to speak with a little pause, a little tease, a little velvet. Because your voice isn't just a tool for communication, it's a weapon of connection. There's a reason why they say body language speaks louder than words. It's because your movements, your posture, your micro expressions all communicate on a deeper, almost primal level. When you learn to own your body language, you're sending him signals before a single syllable leaves your lips. And that, my love, is the alchemy of sexual tension. First, recognize that every gesture you make can either invite him in or keep him at arm's length. So start by opening your body, drop your shoulders, uncross your arms, tilt your head slightly when you look at him. These small shifts say, I'm here, I'm interested, I want you close. Contrast that with when you close off, crossed arms, turned away hips, which immediately tells him, stop. You want to master the art of subtle invitation, not obvious pursuit. Next, lean in when he speaks. Just enough that he feels your energy drifting into his space. You don't need to smother him. Instead, create a magnetic pull. Lean in and hold it for a heartbeat longer than feels natural. Let your chest shift toward him. Feel your breath mingle. That closeness will trigger his nervous system. He'll sense your interest and want to move closer to you. Instinctively, your hands are your secret weapons. Use them deliberately. When you laugh, let your fingertips brush his arm. When you're seated next to him, allow your thigh to graze his. If you're standing, place your hand lightly on the small of his back as you move through a doorway together. These touches are not about grand gestures. They're about micro moments of connection, lingering just long enough to be noticed, then pulling back so he's left craving more. Eye contact and body alignment go hand in hand. If you're facing him head on, shoulders squared, hips squared, you're telling him, you have my full attention. If you angle your body even slightly to the side, it creates an unconscious invitation for him to physically turn you fully toward him. This subtle dance of alignment and realignment keeps the energy flowing between you in a way that feels effortless and alive. Don't underestimate the power of space. The distance between your bodies is a canvas for tension. Stand or sit close enough that he feels the warmth radiating from your skin, but not so close that there's no room to breathe. That half-inch gap where your legs almost touch, that is the spark. He feels the possibility of touch without it being immediate. It keeps him on edge, wanting to close that gap. And then there's the rhythm of movement. Speak with your hands. Use slow, deliberate gestures when you want to emphasize a point. Place your fingertips on your own collarbone or run a hand gently through your hair. Each motion should feel like a punctuation mark in your conversation, an invitation to feel, not just to hear. When you move with intention, he notices the flow of your energy and wants to match it. Finally, pay attention to mirroring. If he leans forward, lean in too. If he tilts his head, mirror that tilt. Subtly, mirroring builds rapport and creates the unspoken message, I'm on your wavelength. It fosters a sense of us, which deepens the tension because he's no longer just flirting with you, he's syncing with you. When you let your body do the talking, you're no longer reliant on witty lines or verbal tricks. Your presence, your posture, your touch, your movement becomes the conversation. You guide the energy, you set the pace, and you keep him hooked without a single word. So practice these micro movements. Watch how you stand, how you sit, how you touch, and how you withdraw. Own your space, invite him in, pull back, and watch as your unspoken language transforms ordinary moments into electric anticipation that turns him on. Every single time, there is something incredibly powerful about restraint. In a world where we're constantly bombarded by noise, by words, by oversharing and over-explaining, what cuts through the chaos is someone who can communicate volumes with very little. When it comes to sexual tension and turning him on, the truth is, you don't have to say a lot. In fact, the less you say, the more impact your words actually have, when they come from a place of calm, self-assured energy. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being intentional, measured. It means letting your energy say what your words don't have to. Think about the most unforgettable, magnetic people you've ever been around. What did they all have in common? I'd bet it wasn't their ability to fill space. It was their ability to own silence, their ability to pause, to let you lean in and wonder what they were thinking. They said little, but everything they said had weight. That's what Say Less, Mean More is all about. A woman who speaks this way communicates that she's not trying to perform for anyone. She's not anxiously trying to prove how interesting or sexy or clever she is. She knows that she is all of those things. And because of that, she doesn't need to oversell herself. That calm confidence creates a mystery that's far more arousing than any scripted line. And men pick up on this immediately. A woman who can hold a pause after saying something teasing. A woman who gives a compliment and then doesn't explain it. A woman who says, I like that, and then smiles and lets the silence sit. She's unforgettable. Why? Because she leaves room for him to feel something, room for him to imagine. And the imagination is the most potent source of attraction there is. This is also where you begin to develop a kind of emotional authority. When you're intentional with your words, they land differently. He listens more carefully. He's more engaged because you're not constantly giving everything away. You're giving just enough for him to want more. And that's what makes things electric. Even a simple phrase like, I've been thinking about you, when said slowly with direct eye contact and a pause afterward, becomes emotionally loaded. It sparks curiosity, desire, anticipation. And that's all from just 5 words. Remember, it's not about being mysterious just for the sake of it. It's about recognizing the value of your attention and your words. You're not trying to overwhelm him. You're inviting him into a slower, deeper, more meaningful experience. And that begins with restraint. So next time you're with him, practice saying less. Don't fill every silence. Don't rush to explain what you meant. Let your tone, your timing, your energy do the talking. Because when you say less, but mean more, you don't just hold his attention, you haunt his thoughts in the most irresistible way. So there you have it. 5 incredibly simple yet deeply effective ways to build sexual tension and turn him on every time. And what's beautiful about all of this is that it's not about changing who you are, it's about becoming more of who you already are. more aware, more intentional, more present in your body, your energy, your words. Because the truth is, sexual chemistry isn't created by chance. It's created through connection, through subtle moments of tension and release, eye contact that lingers, a voice that draws him in, a touch that says, I see you, and then the beautiful pause that lets him feel that moment fully. Let's quickly recap. Step 1, slow down and be present. Sexual energy lives in the now. Step 2, use your eyes and smile to spark playful curiosity. Step 3, let your voice become an experience, not just a sound. Step 4, let your body speak volumes without saying a word. Step 5, say less but mean it deeply. Let him lean in and wonder. When you embody these steps, you stop trying to get his attention because you naturally command it. You stop overthinking what to say or do next, and you start enjoying the dance of desire. And that's where your power lives. Not in trying to impress, but in allowing yourself to express. So here's your challenge. The next time you're with him, whether it's a date night, a new connection, or even in a long-term relationship, choose just one of these steps to practice. Don't rush, don't force it, just let it unfold and watch what happens. Because when you combine confidence with presence, playfulness with patience, and mystery with intention, you become magnetic. You become the kind of woman who doesn't just catch his eye. You stay in his mind long after the moment has passed. Now go out there and create moments that he'll replay in his head for days. Not because you said the perfect thing, but because you felt like the perfect energy. He won't know what hit him, but you will, because you created it. And that, my love, is how you become unforgettable.